Okay, I'm going live. Hello, everybody. It is FriYAY. Come on here. Hello, I'm having problems getting my screen up here, ladies. Ah, there it is. Hey, Jennifer, Kitty, Alexa, Kath. How are you ladies tonight? Good evening. Good evening. It's Friday, people. We made it through another week. Week 18 or 19, depending on how you are counting. Good to have you all with us. Good to have you here. What are we grateful for this Friday? This is Fast Friday tonight, ladies. What are we grateful for this Friday night? Friday night, and the feeling's right. Oh, yes, it's Friday night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night. It is International Self-Care Day today. 2 days early from Self-Care Sunday, but we'll cover it. Hey, Adele, Linda is on, Kristen, Kim. Great to have you all here tonight on Friday night. International Self-Care Day as well. Tell me what we're grateful for. Tell me about it, people. Tell me what is great in your Friday. You've lost count of all the things that are great. Well, I hope that's what you've lost count of. It has been a good Friday. You know, we got a lot done. Our trainees are doing a great job. Progress being made for a new point of sale system. That's very good, Kristen. Slow and steady wins the race. A day off, Kitty. That's nice. I like it. Choosing a new system is hard, Kristen. Remember, what you need when you look for a system, there's a couple things. I want to just talk about it for a second. Since you brought it up, is you want a system that meets the needs of your business today. So that's very important. You want it to grow with you, but most importantly, you want to make sure your vision is compatible with your software provider. So you actually want to talk to people. You want to talk to a support professional. You want to feel comfortable with them because they're going to be the ones that are there to support you after the sale. And that's what's so important. And this industry is filled with phenomenal people that are really there for you after the sale. And I am truly, we're truly a blessed industry with the amount of professionals that we have. And I'm friends with all the companies. I've talked to several of them actually in the last 24 hours about different stores. So it is a great thing, and good luck to you as you work on that. Well, it's sort of 18, 19 weeks, depending on, there's two different calendars that people are using to count it. It's 18 weeks of 1 million plus unemployed. Unemployment claims is one count that people are using. And there's another count depending on where you are in the country. So I say 18, 19 weeks. Well, that's good, Chris. Good luck to you in that transition. Sales have been good online. Yes, they have, Alexa. It's funny because I looked at sales today globally because I had read a couple of our end-of-day reports and they talked about how busy they were. And then when I broke it out, I was like, "Oh, you weren't that busy." I'm like, we shipped a lot of orders today. I'm like, we shipped a lot of stuff today. You know, we had this one crazy bowl in, And it's really nothing special. I wish I had one to show it to you. It's really, think of this bowl here, this plant is in, which is nothing special, okay? And somebody in Germany wanted it for $500. Okay, would I sell this bowl with the little elephant in it for $500? You bet ya. Well, Rebecca says no, but I would probably sell it for $500 and find another one with another elephant. It's handmade elephant, but okay, so maybe I'll take $5.25 for it. I didn't mean to make you nervous, Michelle. When it showed up just before I went live that you were live, I hopped on there to see you, and you were doing phenomenal. And I love that you had the glass of wine. And then you showed the bottle of wine, you know, you were a rock star there. Michelle, you were doing great. So I was glad I was able to pop on for a moment. I don't nearly have the time I wish I had to be able to watch these videos of you all, but you ladies are rock stars, and Michelle, you were doing great there in the pink. You looked great. You looked fabulous. You had your audience. You shook down your neighbor for a bottle of wine, so that was great. That's true. Abe does a good job on their videos. So we do have Men of Resale doing videos too. If I pop in on a video, I should not make you nervous. I'm about the last person that should make you nervous. Although when you have something like, you know, last week Jerry had something in her, well, she had it on her Instagram, I think, that Cassandra wanted, and boom, then it showed up. Virginia's fairly easy for me. Virginia's a fairly easy trip. I get down to Virginia.
Virginia's banned, though.
Virginia is banned. Currently, they're instituting all these new. They're trying to create a Northeast bubble right now. So all the governors are grouping together, and unless you're in the state of the Northeast, and the currently allowed states are the Northeast states, now New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine,
Rhode Island,
and Rhode Island. Okay, and then Hawaii, and
sometimes New Jersey,
and I said New Jersey,
okay.
and the other state they're allowing now is Hawaii. Cassandra got all excited on the way home tonight that she wasn't going to have to come to work after August 1st. So because they have new signs up in Massachusetts that not that you must what do you call it? What's the, I know the word, yeah, not that you have to quarantine, you have to self-isolate. Now they're using the term self-isolate in Massachusetts. And so she had to look up the new ruling to see if she was able to come to work starting August 1st. Since Connecticut is allowed, she still has to go to work. Hey, Patty from Minneapolis. I don't know. Hawaii is on the good list with Massachusetts, so I don't know if it's reciprocal, Julie. Hawaii was the only place my father ever liked to vacation. My father never liked to vacation. And but he went once to Hawaii for a business trip, and then he was sold. Hawaii, he really enjoyed Hawaii, and I have never been. Sales are good online for Alexa. Strong sales in Houston, which is really good considering how bad the news media makes out Texas. And Pasadena's in the house. Great to have you with us, Jenny. Well, it's great to have everybody here tonight on Fast Friday. Angie, Nebraska Angie's in the house, so that's good too. Let's see what we got going on. Let's find a nice page here. I like it. I like it. Hey, Bailey, how are you? How's my friend Joni? I hope you're taking care of Joni. Or Joni's taking care of you. Hey, Joanne. Had an email from you today. Yeah, no, I mean, it's scary and freaky what's going on with the virus. You know, it's an evolving thing. It's a series of new normals. There's not like one point where we'll flip a switch and say, this is the new normal. It's a series of new normals. But, like even this week, you know, I'm glad that, you know, we had our... Well, I'm glad you're willing to go to Hawaii again and rough it again, Julie. I mean, I appreciate that. Maybe when this is all over, we can all go to Hawaii. Resale Island, I'm just saying. It's been suggested. We start every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program and get it started after our gratitude. Our good morning tonight is, good morning, look at you. Damn, you all right. Psst, they ain't ready for you. That is our good morning tonight. And Kitty, that's on page 190, 190 if you're following along in the book. Rick, you're with us tonight. How good to have you. I'm all for a trip away, Julie. I am so down with, I'm just not sure where I can go and everything else, but store traveling's easy. I was going to ask Michelle, how far are you away from Ellen's store? I mean, that's D.C. I get down there all the time. So if I get down to Gaithersburg, how far a drive am I from there to Michelle Land? Just gives me perspective on my driving path. But I would totally love that. I got a great email from Marianne and Little Missy today. I mean, just love following up on them and everything. And hearing, and she had pictures from her 90th birthday, and she just loves this little Remember When book that we sent her for her birthday. And maybe we need to go recruit, Julie. That sounds like official board activity. A board trip to Hawaii to recruit new members. That sounds like a very good idea, Madam Secretary, for suggesting that. I think that's and as the hospitality coordinator, you should be on that trip to Hawaii to recruit new members. 4 hours from Ellen. Oh, I can do it in 2.5. Well, there's less traffic because of COVID. Now this article, I got to share this article with you guys, okay? Because Kristen's going to come for some. This is all good. Okay, so I was watching the little bit of the news that I was watching the other day. I was watching for the weather. And I actually had to hit replay on it. Because he said, you know, it might rain, but it might not rain. We might have severe storms. We might not. There's a chance of a tornado, but it might not be. It could be this or it could be that. Hey, Nancy, great to have you here. It is wonderful. I was talking to somebody in Ohio today. It's been a long day, but a good day. A really good week, really. I mean, our 2 new processors are doing great. Showed up every day on time. Worked hard. Things are getting really good. You have credit on American Airlines. See, willing to donate your time, your airline miles for the association. That's the kind of dedication that Julie gets you in this association. This is very good. Okay, so that weather report sounds helpful. Okay, I mean, and the whole thing was like that. Okay, the whole weather report was like that. And then I rewound it because I'm like, did he really just say all that? And, you know, And watch out in case there's a tropical. I'm like, what did you even say? I mean, how do you get paid? Who pays you? And then this article came across my desk. Drop in global travel may have hurt weather forecasts. So, Julie, you flying to Hawaii may help the weather. Months of pandemic-induced lockdowns have stymied international travel, and scientists say there could be an unexpected casualty: weather and climate forecasts. In normal times, hundreds of thousands of planes and ships crisscross the planet daily, ferrying passengers or transporting cargo. Many of these vessels are equipped with sensitive instruments that can collect a variety of scientific information about their surroundings. Everything from air or ocean temperature to wind speeds and humidity. Scientists often use the data to feed the models they use for weather forecasts. Okay. And climate projections, but the slowdown in global travel has triggered concern among researchers who are worried their forecasts may be suffering. Super sales in North Carolina, awesome! One new study published last week in the Journal of Geophysical Research Letters, I'm thinking you don't get that, suggests the decline in global air travel has taken a toll. The study evaluated the accuracy of global weather forecasts between March and May of this year, the height of the pandemic across much of the world. It then compared them with the forecasts developed during the same months in 2017, 18, and 19, as well as with forecasts in February of this year, just before the pandemic hit. The findings suggest that forecasts across much of the world became less accurate after the pandemic strike. That's a concern, according to the study's author. It's not just a matter of inconvenience if a forecast gets the weather wrong. Farmers, for instance, depend on accurate forecasts to protect their crops. And utility companies estimate the amount of power that will be consumed in a given day using temperature forecasts. At my house, a lot. In a heat wave, demand for electricity tends to soar as people turn on their air conditioner. If utilities are unable to accurately balance power generated versus power consumed, this might impact the stability of the electric power grid. The new study doesn't prove that travel restrictions have caused the forecast to deteriorate, but makes the case that a decline in air traffic played a part. For one thing, the difference in forecast accuracy was more pronounced in the northern hemisphere than in the southern hemisphere. Northern hemisphere forecasts tend to rely more heavily on data collected by the aircraft. Western Europe is a notable exception. European forecasts haven't suffered as much as other parts of the northern hemisphere. That may be because Europe has an impressive network of stationary weather observatories, which constantly collect the same types of data the scientists would typically get from airplanes. There are lessons to be learned here. Improving the network of ground-based meteorological stations across the northern hemisphere may help lessen the impact of future global disasters affecting air travel. And there are other ways to collect similar data in the meantime. Weather balloons, for instance, can help counter the absence of aircraft. That is also really helpful to compensate for the pandemic lacking data. But it's not just aircraft. A recent United Nations Ocean Monitoring Initiative says the number of ocean observing programs suffered during the pandemic as well. Data from the Ship of Opportunity program, an initiative that collects ocean measurements from commercial and other non-scientific vessels around the world, has decreased by 90% since the pandemic. So the decline in ship-based observations isn't catastrophic on its own because of the buoys across the ocean, but even the autonomous systems require updates and maintenance, and with fewer ships crossing the ocean, they're not getting the attention they need. So it's not that my weatherman sucks, it's that there's no planes and ships flying. That is what we have learned here, people. But Julie's going to help make up for it by going to recruit more members in Hawaii. Amazon's small business sellers are making big retail gains, according to the retail juggernaut. Small and medium-sized merchants in the United States sold more than 3.4 billion products on Amazon in the 12 months ending May 31st, a 26% increase from the previous year. Those small business on averages had sales of about $160,000, up from $100,000 in the previous year. Not only that, but the number of Amazon small sellers with more than $1 million annual sales increased by more than 20%, with 3,700 sellers achieving that mark for the first time during the reporting period. Business-to-business sales by small businesses also brought in big business. With those sales exceeding $7 billion, Amazon said the e-commerce operator estimated that small businesses selling on Amazon support 1.1 million U.S. jobs, up from 830,000 in 2019. At Amazon, supporting small and medium-sized businesses is a fundamental part of our work and an extension of our customer-centric culture. Our success depends on their success. COVID-19 has changed the way we live and work and has created daunting challenges for small businesses around the world, yet smaller companies have continued to grow with Amazon despite the crisis. Third-party sellers have seen record sales in our stores and continue to outpace first-party sellers. The top 5 states of small Amazon sellers per capita, so this is not Iowa, has nearly 10,000 small sellers on it. Delaware has 3,000. California has over 100,000, which is actually pretty impressive, on a per capita basis that they're number 3 as well. Wyoming with over 1,000, and New Jersey with over 20,000. Vermont comes in 6th with over 1,000 sellers. New York with nearly 50, Utah with over 7,000, New Hampshire in at number 9 with over 3,000 small businesses, and Florida with over 50,000. More importantly, sales growth by these entrepreneurs. The top 5 are Iowa, Washington, Iowa sellers saw an average of 57% growth, Washington State 56%, Alabama 53% growth, Virginia 50%, and Louisiana brings it in just below 50% at 49% growth on average. So that is actually pretty impressive sounding. Hey, Jennifer! Great to have you with us. Howdy to you and Kurt. Cheers! In a nod to our friends to the north, Canadian Tire Store. Okay, Canadian Tires sell more than tires, in case you have not been to a Canadian Tire store or were turned off by the tire sign next to the Canadian part. They had a run on patio furniture. And what do you do with this empty seasonal space? Now that people are staying at home, they have been buying up and patio furniture at a record rate. Okay, and so Canadian furniture was out. And so what did a store start doing? They started setting up their Christmas displays. And they had fun with it. And set up all their Yuletide holiday products at the height of summer, replacing wicker sofas and parasols with ornaments and artificial trees. Displaying its leftover Christmas stock that they had in the back room. They said we had no stock to put on the floor, so we had to put something. Typically, the shift to holiday lights and baubles begins in late autumn, not in 30°C heat waves. And after all the floor displays sold, they had to do something. So I thought that was great. I think, and that's that was good, Kitty. That was good. But that's what we talked about last night with what we're doing with Halloween. Okay, Nobody wants to think that there's not going to be a Halloween, but let's sell it while we can. Let's get out the winter coats and the winter while we can. Lemonade out of lemons. It's being focused on your goals, stubborn on your goals, some would even say, and flexible in your methods, okay? And lemonade out of lemons was always a saying my mother had and went with. Every time my father was in the hospital, she would wheel her walker around the hospital with a basket of lemons on it, okay, and lemonade. But that is the truth, and I thought that was great. I really did, and it makes you think out of the box. I mean, our goal is to make sure we have as much inventory ready to go for whenever our customers are ready for it, because there's not a new normal that Monday's your busiest day, or Saturday, or Tuesday, or Wednesday this week. I think this week our busiest days were Wednesday and Thursday so far. I mean, it's weird when it happens, and then today was crazy with online shipping. So, you want to be adaptable to be wherever your customers are in their situation. So, I thought that was absolutely fabulous. I'm going to save that for Self-Care Sunday. I like this. What does luxury even mean? The pandemic could drive the market back to its roots. The events of 2020 have shifted collective understanding of the words like luxury and exclusivity. Put luxury in the context of COVID-19, and many will say it's all about health, access to care, and time with loved ones. As for exclusivity, that's a different conversation in terms of race. Yet here we are, in the midst of this year's challenges, questions arise about offering and attaining the best of the best. Bain & Company predicted the global luxury goods market will contract up to 35% this year. The largest target demographic, those in the $100,000 to $250,000 salary range, are experiencing layoffs, furloughs, and reduced hours, and months of isolation and uncertainty could well lead to questions about what we really need. Chanel lipstick to wear under a mask? Designer clothing to stay at home? If we look at luxury, that's a psychological purchase, said Pam of Unity Marketing and an expert on affluent customers in the luxury market. Historically, she says, consumers have opted for small luxury purchases in times of financial stress, helping reinforce who they believe they are. It would be tempting to seek parallels and projections based on what previous economic downturns, but this time we've been off of the shopping treadmill for months now, she says, and how long is it going to take for habits to change? When people emerge from isolation, they may be looking at luxury from a different perspective. With income, equity, mortality, and job loss so front and center, a logo on a handbag may be conspicuous to a point of shame. And it's not just the additional psychological elements of the pandemic that make the future of luxury so muddy. It's also that Chinese consumers have been hit as well, but who really knows? My basic comment is that the blind are leading the blind. There are just so many variables and no historical basis on which we can draw to make any projections. Technology's role. Pam and other luxury experts do anticipate, however, a return to what made luxury in the first place. Expert craftsmanship, quality materials, innovative design, and yes, exclusivity. Not everyone can buy a private jet, and that's okay. Milton, the CEO of the Luxury Institute. Not everyone can have a bodyguard, and we seem to be okay with that. But in the desire to grow, luxury brands have become commoditized. They will be rethinking that. If there are less brands out there, less luxury pretenders, then luxury should be what it used to be, something special, the best of the best. Those left standing post-pandemic will be able to charge luxury prices, but perhaps for something slightly different. As brands like Gucci and Chanel seek a greater wallet share from consumers, they're going to have to produce the little black dress, the navy blue suit, the staples people want, in addition to the innovative and creative pieces. They wonder when luxury will catch up with the technology that allows rapid-fire, custom-made, perfectly fitting garments, too. We still think that has to be done by people, but we're running out of tailors. He foresees a bloodletting of excess inventory, but not necessarily with announced sales. Luxury retailers will find other ways to drop prices without calling it that. As for specialty shops, they believe that they'll be fine in the long run, but it may take a while, and a renewed overall sense of safety and security to get there. Oliver Chen, Managing Director and Head of Retail and Luxury for Cowen, notes that luxury industry is relatively consolidated, and that overall trend of the big getting bigger applies here too. He's optimistic overall, but does not expect a rethinking of priorities. He sees inclusivity, for example, as a new exclusivity. The reason that's important is that the evolution of what exclusivity means is different for different generations, he says. There's still a storytelling aspect and there's still heritage, but in a time when everything is available to everyone at all time, to all people in all places, there's a rise in limited edition collaborations and accelerated trends. Here, Trend mentions brands like Supreme and the integration of streetwear and casualization in fashion by designer and Louis Vuitton's menswear artistic director, Virgil. Members of Generation Z and younger are like the baby boomers, he says, in wanting to stretch their dollars. Luxury brands must execute with versatility and value while staying true to themselves. Chen says pent-up demand for the pandemic likely will lead to a desire for basic needs and essential goods, but also a thirst for the theater and emotions of luxury. Prior to the pandemic, what we had was a lot of sameness, plus too much debt and too many stores. Embrace digitalization and brand-appropriate convenience rise to the challenge of repurposing content to help with the current cultural needs and rethink the store to serve as a hub, distribution point, a base for live streaming as a channel for commerce. In luxury as elsewhere, a crisis can and must still drive innovation. Drive innovation. After COVID, you're selling your private jet. That's good, Michelle, that you talked about that with your processor. Get them in and blame me. But, but that is part of it. After COVID, you're selling your private jet. That's great, Michelle. Well, did I ever tell you all about the one? I had one client one time, and he was he was in a lot of things and ended out in resale. Okay, and he was primarily in real estate is where he made his original money. And real estate development, he developed lakes and lake towns and everything. And no boats, Michelle. Jennifer, this story, pay attention to this story. Okay? And so, and he was trying to put his last big hurrah together in real estate when the 2008 recession hit and everything. And he really took a dent in that, okay? A dent. Let me put that in quotes. Because, it wasn't like he was hurting that bad. He wasn't where he was, and he's walking me through his home and showing me various pictures of things, and he's like, when you lose your money in real estate, this is the first thing that's got to go. We get to this one picture, and he's like, this is the first thing that's got to go when you lose your shirt in real estate. And I'm like, what am I going to look up at? Because this guy was really a smart older guy. I mean, he wasn't a spring chicken. He was in his 80s, and he was smart. He was sharp as a tack. And, so like, what am I going to look up at? His Lamborghini collection, what am I going to look up at in this picture? His vacation home in Hawaii? No. What I look up at in that picture, that the first thing that's got to go when you lose money in real estate was the picture of his private island, okay, his home on the private island, okay, that had the helipad and the place for the seaplane to dock, okay, and it was his plane. He could dock right in there. That was the first thing that had to go. All of that had to go when he was losing his shirt in real estate. I am very thankful for knowing him and working with him, because as much as I taught him, he taught me. He was very wise. He should have never been in the resale business, but he was that's a whole nother story. But yeah, the private island, I will never forget that. So that's something that I remember. It was, I mean, he loved that. He loved that place, as much as he always loved work. He was a lot like my father in the ways where, you could tell he didn't vacation much, but he it was interesting. So definitely something to be with, but it was neat. So I'm glad I was there for that. All right, guys. I am tired tonight. This is supposed to be our Fast Friday, and I've been going long, so let's keep on. Let's wrap this show up tonight. I will be back tomorrow for Self-Care Sunday Eve. I've got a lot to cover on Self-Care Sunday Eve. We'll see if we can get back to the homework and bring things back together. We start every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start the show every night. It is. So, all these videos, everything are organized over on narts.org/resalestrong. Narts.org/resalestrong is where you find it all. You email me at Neil, N-E-I-L, at ECIstores.com. N-E-I-L at ECIstores.com is how you reach me. Make sure you include your phone number so I can call you back. Our good morning tonight, if you were not here at the top of the program, on page 190. Good morning. Look at you. Damn, you all right. Shh. They ain't ready for you. Our good night tonight is good night. Dang, check you out. Told you they weren't ready. Rest all that greatness. Look at those graphics, folks. Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah. Yes, we will party again. I can promise you that. It'll happen, I promise you. We will be back at it, and I will be there with you to party with you. Until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget that more than anything, you and you, but most importantly, you are not alone running this store. It's time for dessert, everybody. Have a great night.